What's up, guys? This is DJ Cade, back once again like a renegade bastard with part 2 of my road to the Jungle Cup, and in this video we are going to be battling against local pro in a best 2 out of 3 Deefy 250. And as you guys can see, she is bringing a very similar team that I am, with one exception in which she has that Vespiquen, who is incredibly fast and is a Pokemon that's kind of, I think it's actually flown under the radar a little bit in this meta. I know a lot of people were huge fans of it. I've seen people doing extremely well with Vespiquen in their teams, winning some tournaments, going 7-0 in some cases, and I knew it was an incredibly strong, incredibly powerful Pokemon. It's not really the best counter to Wigglytuff, but it's still incredibly strong. And as you can see, I'm still running the same team that I was running in my previous battles with the Discord player Ednog25. I'm not sure why all these trainers I'm battling have 25 in their names. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe it's just, I don't know, just random thought from me. But anyways, we're running the same team again, and we're just seeing at this point, because like I battled both these people in the same day, and I was just trying to see if I could get some practice in with my team in this case. So against Deefy, we decided that we were going to do 3 battles no matter what the outcome. So let's get into our first battle right away. So for this first battle, I decide to run Lanturn as my lead, with Forretress in the back, hopefully to deal with that Vespiquen, and then the Vigoroth just to be able to take on whatever else she has on her team. I figured that would be a good strong counter, really only losing to the other Lanturn. So I figured it would be a fairly safe lead, although Vespiquen can still do some damage if she gets the chance. So let's see how this team does against Deefy 250. So the battles begin, and she sends in the Noctowl, and this is a very positive matchup for us. So I'm just going to hang in there, and she decides to get out of there immediately, not even doing a fast attack. She sends in her Vigoroth, which tells me that she probably doesn't have the Venusaur. If this is what she's throwing in against me to help deal with the Lanturn, then she's probably not having much in the back. I decided to bank a little bit of energy, get out of there. Since she doesn't have the Venusaur, I figure I can send in something else against her, but she decides to use the Bulldoze. And that does a little bit more damage than the Body Slam is going to, but we're still able to whittle down this Vigoroth with some fast attacks, and I decide to go for the Earthquake, but she does shield it. She doesn't fall for it like she did in the Kingdom Cup. We didn't get her with the Earthquake. I just let her finish me off with a Bulldoze. And I send in my own Vigoroth just to be able to finish her off with some fast moves. And now we're at a very, very good situation right here. We're up a shield, and her other Pokemon is fairly weak. She's thinking about what she wants to send out. She's sending in the Noctowl. I go for the Body Slam, of course, and we'll see how much damage this does. She decides not to shield it. She's going to tank it like a pro. And I don't get to the next Body Slam in time, so I decide, do I shield this one? Yes, I shield at the last second. I want to keep this Vigoroth healthy. I send in my own Body Slam. I figure this will either get her last shield or will come extremely close to finishing her off. She decides to shield again, probably thinking that this is her best option, her Noctowl, against my team. But I go for that next Body Slam, and we're going to take her out. And she comes in with the Lanturn here, and this is going to be pretty good for us. I mean, all we have to do is really throw Body Slams at this point, and Lanturn, while having a lot of health, like I've got my own Lanturn with built-up energy in the back that I had saved. I had swapped out my Lanturn. I send in mine with the Thunderbolt, and I get her with that one, and I've got a shield left, so even if she manages to get to one of her own Thunderbolts, we are going to survive this, absolutely. So I'm going to end up taking the first game with just a couple more shoots of water out of my mouth here. There you go. And GG's, we actually get the first game against Deefy, who is an extremely tough opponent, and I am shocked. I'm feeling really good at this point. Alright, so for my next battle, I decide, of course, to change it up. I really don't like to play the same leads every time, but I figure we're going to try the Wigglytuff here. We're going to take a chance, we're going to give this a shot and see how this does against her team. We're sending in the Noctowl to deal with the Vespiquen and the Venusaur and possibly even the Forretress as well. So I figure I have the 2 heavy hitters on this lineup as well as something that can take out her grass types and her bug types if we need to. So let's see how we do. Alright, Vigoroth comes out, and Vigoroth comes out, and both are looking quite stunning with their orange hair. I mean, I gotta give a shout out to Orange Shinies here. I decide to store a little bit of energy and let her throw the first Body Slam, and it does hurt. I'm going to get off on another Body Slam here. Or actually, I'm going to get off another Body Slam here. I mean, I like Body Slam, but I don't like it that much. I decide to swap out. That was not really a good charge move into a swap out. I let Vigoroth hit me a couple more times with fast attacks, and it just wasn't, I just lost too much health as a result of that. And now she sends in the Forretress against me, which is a good counter. I decide to see if the Ice Beam is going to do anything, thinking that maybe Bug would be weak to ice. It is kind of, but still, just not a lot of damage. And I decide to tank this, thinking if it's the Heavy Slam, I'll resist it, but I mixed up my typing at that point. Like, Fairy typing is still new to me as a new player. So I totally screwed that up. I absolutely should have shielded. I waited out my switch timer. I sent in the Vigoroth. She gets her Forretress out of there and sends in the Lantern. I decide to start throwing some charge moves, and she takes me down with the Water Gun, and at this point she's got the Lantern and a shield against the Noctowl with 2 shields. And I'm thinking maybe I can still do something to win this, but like, I know that those sky attacks are going to be resisted. I'm just not going to be doing much against those, and I suck at this. At this point in time, I absolutely suck at that sky attack animation. I gotta figure out a completely different way to do that. Thankfully, we get to a second one, and I try again, and it's just a tough one for me. I just gotta figure out some new strats for that, plain and simple. But now she's going to send in another Thunderbolt, and we're going to have to shield this again. I mean, otherwise we are dead. And if we have any chance of winning this at all, you know, we're going to have to shield that. So we do much better. We are actually getting better in real time at those flying type moves, but all it's going to take is for her to get to 1 more, and that's it. So she ends up taking game 2. She's going to strike me down with the Thunderbolt here, and that's it. GG's. So guys, it's the last battle. It is 1-1 right now. The nerves are getting to me a little bit. I'm thinking maybe I can win this. Maybe I can beat Deefy in a best 2 out of 3 here. I decide to send in the Forretress. I figured that would be good against some of the things on her team, especially like Venusaur, Vespiquen, and her own Forretress, maybe even against Lantern. I figured maybe she would try to run the Vespiquen. Like, maybe she was thinking that I would run the Vigoroth, so she would run the Vespiquen in place of that. I haven't seen it this whole game yet. I didn't know if she was going to try to get tricky, but maybe I was just thinking a little bit too far ahead or too many steps ahead of her. But we'll see how this works. We'll see how the Venusaur works, which really didn't work in my previous battles against Ednog on my previous video, but I still bring in the Vigoroth either way, so let's see how this plays out. Forretress comes in, and the Vespiquen comes in. I called it! And I'm not really sure why I thought this was a good matchup, to be honest. I thought maybe I was going to be doing more damage or that he would be resisting it, but she switches out. I swap in right away. I've still got the Razor Leaf Venusaur at this point, by the way, so I'm going to be able to do a lot of damage to Vigoroth just in terms of fast moves. As you can see, I'm really chunking him down there, and even though I had to use a shield on that first Body Slam, I decide this is going to be my best thing against that Vigoroth, and I don't want that Vigoroth running away against my team. I really should have just waited and just done one more Razor Leaf, but I didn't know if she was going to get to another Body Slam before she was going to die. So now she's got 2 Pokemon, 2 shields. She sends the Vespiquen back in against me, and this is going to be tough because, like, neither of those 2 Pokemon I have there are really all that strong against Vespiquen, but I figure I send in the Forretress, try to get the Rock Tomb, and I can't. It's too fast. I decide to tank the X-Scissor, which does almost nothing to me. Like, that's... So at least I called that part of it. And I decide to go for the Rock Tomb. She has to shield it, otherwise that's going to take her out. But this Vespiquen is just way too fast for Forretress. Like, Forretress is still spinning around at the starting line over there while she's got like 3 charge moves already. So I just can't get anything more. And all I have left in the back is the Vigoroth. That's it. And this is going to be brutal. Like, if I can't get to some body slams right quick here and run her out of her last shield, I decide to keep charging and charging, see if I can't. But no, she gets in another charge move. That Vespiquen just so fast. Just unbelievable. I'm going to see if I can try to hit her with 2 charge moves in a row. Did I get enough energy? She decides to let that one go down, but she saves the next, her last shield for her next Pokemon. So at this point, Lanturn, just too tanky. Just way too tanky, and I'm not going to survive, especially with that Water Gun fast move damage. I might get one more Body Slam here, but this is just a Vigoroth flopping his arms around like he normally does, you know, just flip-flopping out there in the ocean like a dead fish, you know, and Lanturn able to, or a dying fish, I should say. She's got me so tilted that I can't even words correctly, but GG's to Deefy, who did absolutely amazing in those matches against me. So GG's go to Deefy in that best 2 out of 3. She really knew how to play her team, and after that first match, she kind of maybe learned what I was all about and maybe picked up on a few things and came back for the win. And at this point, I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling just a wee bit tilted, you know? I mean, from all of this, from my practice matches, going essentially 1-4 against Ednog 25 and losing the best 2 out of 3 against Deefy. I decided that for my Jungle Cup, which is going to be the very next video that I put out, I'm going to change up my team a little bit. And if you've seen the thumbnails for my videos, you probably know how I'm going to change up my team. But I end up going with a slightly different strategy. I just, in these practice battles, I just did not like Wigglytuff. I just didn't think it was all that great. But we're actually going to change that, and we're going to go into the Jungle Cup in our next video with a different team lineup that I had not practiced. So we're going to see how well that does and if we can apply what knowledge we've gained so far to the next video, to our Jungle Cup. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked this, if you've liked any of the videos so far, please hit the subscribe, leave a comment, throw a like down below. Anything you can do to help out would be amazing. I appreciate you guys. I love every single one of you that subscribes to my channel. So until the next time, which will be my Jungle Cup, take care, you guys. Have a good one. Love you all. Peace.